So we were doing problems based on electric field mainly, right? Now we'll do some problems which are based on flux and the concept of electrostatic potential. Okay, so today's topic that we are going to concentrate is that. So I am assuming, I'm repeating it again, I assume all your basics with respect to this chapter, at least for CBSE part, is clear. Okay, you know the formula, you know the basic content. I have the basic assumption. With that, I will do the problems. But if there is any concept you want me to explain, please stop me and ask. I will definitely do it. But you have to ask me, okay? Or else I will not know. So is there any doubt from yesterday's class that we solved some problems, right? Is there anything like you have tried it again, you didn't get it, you got stuck with something? Is there something of that sort? Okay. So I assume things are clear. So let's proceed, okay? Now, let's discuss about Gauss law. One minute. So what does Gauss law state? Everybody knows this fact. It speaks mainly about the electric flux. So the surface integral of E vector dot ds vector is equal to the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface divided by epsilon naught. Can I write this? Right. So this is what the concept of electric flux is. Right. Now, so when we derive certain expressions for, see, why do we mainly use Gauss law? Tell me, guys. Are we really using Gauss law to actually find the flux? Most of the applications of Gauss law is of what? There are three applications, right, in your CBSE. What do we do?
Electric field.
We calculate the electric field. Due to what kind of a system? Due to an extended object. Can I call it like that? So something which is not a point object, we derive the electric field due to the extended object at a particular point. I hope this point is clear to you guys. Right? That's why we take a linear charge and we take a surface charge and all those things. So with respect to a linear charge, what are all the important parameters you're able to recollect in the derivation part? So if suppose I have a linear charge and at a distance r at a point P, if I want to calculate the electric field, what does the answer come out as? Lambda divided by, hey, all these things should be at your fingertips. 2 pi epsilon naught r, correct? Then we take a plane sheet into consideration. So with respect to a plane sheet, what is the electric field at a point P, which is at a distance r?
Sigma by epsilon naught.
So sigma by 2 epsilon naught actually. So sigma by 2 epsilon naught due to one side. Due to the other side also, it will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Right, sigma by epsilon naught comes in the capacitors. Okay, recollect it. Next, when you talk about a spherical shell, so there was a problem that we did yesterday, right, which was based on sphere only. But what is the difference between that concept and this one? I'll show you the problem also. This one. Charge is distributed within a sphere. What is the difference between a sphere and a spherical shell?
There, charge was distributed throughout the volume. Here, it's only
Very
on
good.
the surface.
Excellent. That's the answer. So, with respect to this, what is the electric field inside? So, we calculated at 3 points, right? What is the electric field inside it?
0.
0. Electric field on the surface, capital Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught, capital R, where capital R is the radius of the surface. So, electric field outside is what? Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into small r. Right? Can we take it like this? Next, we need to know how the graphs are, right? Electric field and distance. With respect to the first one, what will be the shape of the graph? It will be a rectangular hyperbola. With respect to the electric field for a plane sheet, it will be a straight line parallel to x-axis. Here it is going to be 0, maximum, and decrease, right? So sometimes what they can do is they'll give you the graph and ask you this graph is related to which particular object. They ask this question, you can directly say it is with respect to spherical shape. Might be it will happen in the other competitive exams. Okay. Next. So this is all about Gauss law. Okay, now I have another question. I'm not sure there's some issue with my iPad. So in the electrostatics questions, the first one is there, right? So this one. This is actually a concept which is based on Gauss law only. I want everybody to read this and try this. Did I send this paper to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So read the question, okay? Let the total charge 2q be distributed in a sphere of radius capital R, with a charge density given by rho of R is equal to K into R, where R is the distance from the center. So what kind of an object is it? It is distributed in a sphere. Okay, that is the object. Two charges A and B of minus q each are placed diametrically on or diametrically opposite points at equal distances A from the center. If A and B do not experience any force, then they are asking what is the relation between the distance in terms of the radius. Okay. So I'll give you a minute time. Okay, I'll give you a minute time. You guys tell me what is the idea. How do we solve this? See, whether it is right or wrong, let's discuss. No, it is then I'll know how you are thinking. So first, we obviously need a diagram, right? So here I need to consider a sphere. So I've considered a sphere. So within the sphere, where is the charge distributed? We need to ask certain questions, right? So where is the charge distributed?
Inside.
Inside. But is it going to be uniformly distributed? We don't know. But one information that they have given is, we know what is the total charge that is present inside the surface. Am I right? So they have given you 2q. So from the density, whatever they have given, is it possible for us to calculate, right? Is it possible for us to calculate the total charge? If so, how do we do it? Did you guys understand what I asked? I'll repeat the question, listen to it carefully. They have given, there are certain data, right? They have given something about the total charge inside, which is 2q. And second important parameter that is given to us is the density. So with respect to a sphere, what is the only possible density that you can define?
Volume density.
Volume density, right? So when you talk about the volume density, now my question is, from that volume density, okay, volume density, it is the amount of charge per unit volume, dq by dv in sollama, right? So when they have given you total charge, is it possible for us to calculate the value of total charge from this expression, from this differential equation? Is it possible for us to calculate it?
Yes.
Can I call this as dq is equal to rho into dv? Right? Then what am I supposed to do to calculate the total charge? I need to integrate, right? When I do an integration, especially, see, carefully listen, okay? Physics is all about choosing the right limits. Now my question is, left hand side I will choose the limits with respect to charge because that is my differential coefficient. What about the right hand side? They are saying dV, right? So what is the easiest parameter? Look at the expression for the surface density that they have given. It is in terms of what parameter? Density.
R.
It is a function of R. So tell me, is it advisable for us to solve the problem in terms of volume or in terms of the radius or in terms of the distance from the center?
Distance from
Where
the
R,
center.
right? So what is our work? We need to ensure that dV is also written in terms of the distance from the center. அப்படி நடக்கணும்னா always with respect to a sphere, not only in the case of electrostatics, even in the case of center of mass, with respect to a sphere, you need to consider a spherical shell inside it. I'm repeating the thumb rule. You need to consider a spherical shell. Am I clear? So yesterday's problem also, if you see, I would have considered a spherical shell only. Now the spherical shell should be at a distance r from the center, and that should have a thickness of dr such that I should be in a position to define what is the value of dq inside the spherical shell. Does this make sense? Now the question is, how do I write dq as? Dq according to me is rho into dv, but I don't know what is the value of v. So the volume of the sphere that you have is 4 by 3 pi r cube, correct? Then what will be the value of dv? It is 4 pi r square into dr, applying chain rule. Can I take this and substitute it here? So dq is equal to, guys, are you able to understand? dq is equal to k into r, where I don't know what is the dimension of k. Okay, nothing is given. So our work is to eliminate that also because the options doesn't have any k in it. So 4 pi k r cube dr. Guys, any doubt till here? Now what I've done is I've converted dq as a function of r. So we have formed a differential equation and we have applied the variables and separables. The variables are separated. Now the next work that we have is integrated on both the sides with proper limits. 4 pi k integral of r cube dr. But now you guys tell me the limit. When the distance from the center is 0, the charge is also considered to be 0. When the distance from the center is capital R, what is going to be the value of Q that I need to consider according to question?
2Q.
Perfect. So 2Q is equal to 4 pi K into R power 4 by 4. Cancel. Pi K R power 4 is 2Q. Let this be equation number 1. But I'm stuck with one thing. The data that they have given, okay, 2Q I have, another thing. But what is the expectation they have? They need something to do with the distance from the center. I don't know what to do with it. I need, so what is this A all about? A is the distance where this minus Q, where these two minus Q charges are placed symmetrically with respect to the center. Right? At which point on diametrically opposite ends at equal distance. Such that what is happening, A and B do not experience any force. Okay, wow. So the one thing is I need to eliminate K. So 2Q divided by pi into r power 4. Let me take this as 1. That makes more sense. Correct, Ada? Now. So with respect to this sphere only, where is it? With respect to the same sphere, let's try to visualize it diagrammatically again. So what are they saying with respect to minus q? Minus q and minus q are placed on diametrically opposite ends with respect to the center, such that these two forces do not these two charges do not experience any force. So how do I find the force experienced by those objects? Are you guys able to understand what I'm asking? Yesterday we did a problem, right? You guys remember this? Origin, there was a charge q. In between, there was q. Here also there was some other charge q, which is separated by distance. When when this charge is not experiencing any force, we need to calculate what is the value of small q. Do you guys remember that question?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. So this question was also something similar, except the fact of what? What is the difference between the question we did yesterday and this one?
Here it's a charge distribution.
Okay. Here, na, which one you're talking about? The question we are doing now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The question
So
we did yesterday, it had point charge.
excellent. That is what I was expecting. Here it was point charge, so it was easy for us because we could apply Coulomb's law and solve it. Whereas here I don't have point object, I have extended object. So what am I supposed to do? My work is to calculate what is the electric field at a distance a from it. Okay. If I am able to calculate the electric field where? If I am able to take a small spherical surface and calculate what is going to be the electric field due to the charges present inside, then how do I calculate the force experienced by either of the charges? When I'm repeating the question, I drew a small area, right? There is a small volume of spherical portion whose radius is A. Within that radius A, there will be some charge. Due to that amount of charge, there will be an electric field here. Now this minus Q is in such a way that it is placed in the electric field due to the small portion at this point P. Does it make sense? If that is the case, what is going to be the force experienced by this charge Q in terms of charge and electric field?
QE.
That's it. So F is equal to QE. Now this F is equal to QE should balance which force? It
The
should
other,
be sorry, ma?
the other force, sir. The other
Actually,
charge.
that's not the thing. It should be able to balance something else. It should be able to balance the electrostatic repulsion existing between the minus Q and minus Q. Okay. So since they told none of the charges are experiencing force, what I'm trying to do is, now can you tell me, see, again I'm trying to create a similarity. Yesterday's question, how many particle system was it? Yesterday's question is 3-particle system. This question also can be visualized as a 3-particle system where 2 charges are minus Q and where is the third charge present? The third charge is present in the small sphere that you have considered. Purida. So what I'm trying to say is the force experienced by either of the minus Q charge, the net force, I'm repeating it, the net force experienced by either of the minus Q charges is 0. Does it make sense? So here, like someone told me, you should also balance minus Q, the other minus Q. There is only one minus Q that it should be balanced. So if I take, I'll take a blue color mark, try to understand. This minus Q is experiencing force due to whom? One of the forces is experienced due to the electric field of the charges. Purida. And the same minus Q is experiencing a force due to the other minus Q charge. Correct? So how many charges are actually exerting a force on the blue color minus Q? How many forces? How many charges are actually exerting a force on the blue color one?
2.
2. One is due to this point charge minus Q, and the other is due to the spherical portion which contains the charge. So the charge experience QE should be equal to minus Q square divided by, I'm removing the minus, okay? Minus is not needed. Q square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into the distance between them square. What are the distance between them?
2a.
2a the whole square. So q and q are gone, which implies E is equal to q divided by 16 pi epsilon naught a square. Let this be 2. So what is that we are stuck with? We don't know what is this electric field. That to calculate that electric field, we can apply Gauss law. So what does Gauss law state? Integral of E into dA is equal to how much is going to be the total charge that is present in this surface? Can I write it like this? Integral of rho dV divided by epsilon naught. Guys, are you able to understand this? I know it is a tough problem, but it covers many concepts. If something is unclear, please let me know. If you want me to explain any of the steps, I'll do it.
Sir, ஒரே doubt, sir.
Tell me.
இப்போ at the surface, there's, I mean, at the ends of A and B, there's minus Q and minus Q. So that will be minus 2Q. Plus there'll be a plus 2Q in the center. So won't it be 0 as the net charge?
Which one?
Net charge.
Because இல்ல கிடையாது ஏனா this minus q இல்ல plus 2q கிடையாது அதான் நீ கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆற plus 2q is within the whole sphere. டேய் இது ஃபுல்லா plus 2q டா.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I get it.
But the smaller portion will have lesser charge, no?
Yes, sir. Now I get it.
Oh, good, you thought about it. Yeah. I hope now you have clarity, right? இப்போ பார்க்கலாம். So if I take out E outside, integral of dA is equal to 1 by epsilon naught into integral of rho dV. Correct? It's same as how we did above. Only difference is the limits will change. Now what will be the limits? So 1 by epsilon naught into what was the value of rho dV? Rho dV was this thing, right? 4 pi k into r cube dr. 4 pi k into r cube dr from 0 to a. Now area என்னவா இருக்கும்? So the area also you are going to list it from where to where? Same 0 to a only. Okay. So E into, if this is considered as the Gaussian surface, what is going to be the surface area of the smaller sphere? It is 4 pi a square, correct? It is
Yes,
equal
sir.
to 1 by epsilon naught into 4 pi k into it is a power 4 divided by 4. Is there anything that is getting cancelled? A square, 4 is gone. So E will be equal to, pi is also gone, k a square divided by 4 epsilon. Let this be 3. So from 2 and 3, what is that you can do? Q divided by 16 pi epsilon naught a square. Q divided by 16 pi epsilon naught a square is equal to a square divided by 4 epsilon naught into, in the place of k, can I write it as 2q by pi r power 4? So pi and pi will get cancelled. Q is gone. Epsilon naught is gone. So 32 times a power 4, or I will cancel this. This will go 4 times. 8 times a power 4. 8 times a power 4 is equal to r power 4. So r will be 2a square, or a square, r is equal to 2a. 8 power 1 by 8 power 1 by 4. So a will be how much? R divided by 8 power 1 by 4. Is there an option like this?
A, sir.
Okay. It's a very good problem, right? Many concepts got covered. I hope you guys could understand. See, but if this problem comes, I'll not, in the exam, don't prioritize it first, because it has wasted almost 20 minutes of time. Right? We had to spend 20 minutes on this. Actually, there's an advanced level problem. Not sure why they asked. So please make a note of this. So are you feeling comfortable with integration now? A bit? Like how to choose the limits and how to take the variables. Are you guys comfortable?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So you want to try one problem which is based on integration, then we can move on to the next part.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's try it out. So let's look for another problem which includes. You want to try this? It's a good problem, 18th one. A disclaimer that I'm not saying it is easy, but you have to think. Wait. Instead of this, we can actually wait. This is actually not based on integration. Now we can actually try this 2009 problem because the function is given here. Try it out. No? There is a solid sphere of radius r that has a charge q distributed in its volume with a charge density of rho is equal to k into r power a, where k and a are the constant, r is the distance from the center. If the electric field at small r is equal to capital R by 2 is 1 by 8 times that of r is equal to r, then find the value of a. Try it out. So this year they can ask this question as a numerical problem. You have integer type, right? It can come in that. So what concept are you planning to apply? Tell me. How will you do it? Anybody with the idea?
Sir, with the volume charge density, you can find
Okay.
the effective charge at that, for example, r by 2,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and then find an expression for electric field, and then
Using
same this thing kq by r by 2 the whole square.
அது பண்ணக்கூடாது. kq by r by 2 the whole square is only for point charge. கிடையாது. Hey, there is a part of the problem that we did now. Last part ஒன்னு இருக்குல்ல. என்ன யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க?
Gauss law.
You have to use Gauss law. நீ almost correct யோசிச்ச. Using Gauss law, if you find it out, equate the expression that they have given. You will get the answer. சரியா? Try பண்றியா?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Try பண்ணு. Anybody with the answer? A into integral of dA is equal to 1 by epsilon naught into integral of rho dV. Correct? So 0 to small r, 0 to small r. So what will answer be? E into 4 pi small r square is equal to 1 by epsilon naught into integral of k into r power a into 4 pi r square dr. I need not tell you how the dv has come. Between 0 to r. So 1 by epsilon naught into, you guys tell me, 4 pi k into integral of r power a plus 2 times dr between 0 to r. That is e into 4 pi r square. 4 pi gone. R power a plus 3. It's a only, no? That's what we need to find. R power a plus 3 by a plus 3. K divided by epsilon naught into r power a plus 1 by a plus 3. So this is the electric field at a distance r. What will be the electric field at the distance capital R? K by epsilon naught into r power a plus 1 by a plus 3. Correct? Now what have they told? Guys, is there anything that you didn't understand? So if you're clear with these two steps, the remaining part is easy. Are you clear or not? It's exactly the same as what we did in the previous problem. So going forward, if you see these sphere kind of problems, you can use it like a formula itself. Correct? So electric field at a distance r is 1 by 8 times the electric field at a distance capital R. The small r is nothing but r by 2. So k by epsilon naught into a plus 3 into r by 2 power a plus 1 is equal to 1 by 8 into k by epsilon naught into r power a plus 1 divided by a plus 3. Okay, a plus 3 will get cancelled. A plus 3, k by epsilon naught is gone. R power a plus 1, r power a plus 1 is gone. 1 by 2 power a plus 1 is equal to 1 by 8. Up a yolo.
Two, sir.
So, yes, that's right. This 2 cube, a will be. So that's the answer. Are you guys clear with the concept? So I suggest you see in the book that we gave, you will have more problems like this. You can try out. You can try them out and let me know. There is any doubt. Okay. Shall I move on to the next part of the chapter? That is electrostatic potential, potential energy work done, and energy conservation. Right. Now let's discuss. So how do you define the electrostatic potential for a point charge? Wait. So you know what is electrostatic potential. So electrostatic potential at a point in the electric field is equal to the work done in bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to a given point. Right? So it is given, so potential is defined as the amount of work done per unit charge. So its unit is going to be 1 joule per coulomb. Now, if you have a point charge at a distance d from it, what is going to be the potential? So V is equal to KQ divided by D, or 1 by epsilon naught Q divided by V. Correct? Instead of D, we would have discussed it as R. That's the only difference. Okay. Next. So we know that the electric potential is a scalar quantity and its dimensional formula, all those things are known. Next. When you talk about potential or potential energy, the main concept that we will be concentrating upon is work done. So wherever you need to calculate the potential or potential energy, we'll concentrate on work done. So if there is a question like this, what is the amount of work done in moving a charge up to a given point in electric field? Okay. So the work done in moving a charge up to a given point in the electric field is independent of the path taken in moving the charge and depends only on the potential difference. Because here work done is given by what formula? It is given by Q into delta V. Do you guys remember this? Where delta V is the potential difference. We have done problems based on this concept also. So from this, we can conclude that the electric field is conservative and a non-dissipative field. Okay. This formula, right? So this work done, whatever I wrote it as Q into delta V, is what is technically called as the potential energy. So U is equal to Q into V. Then we know what is an equipotential surface. So what is an equipotential surface? It is a surface where the potential difference between any 2 points is 0 or potential at every point is the same. Okay. Next is equipotential surface and the electric lines of force are always mutually perpendicular to each other. When you try to move a charge on an equipotential surface, there is no work that is being done on it. Okay. Next. When you talk about the potential due to a number of point charges, it is equal to the algebraic sum of the potentials produced by the individual charges because it is a scalar quantity. Had it been vector, we would have told it is a vector sum. Then we know the concept of potential gradient. So how do we define the potential gradient as E is equal to minus dV by dr? Can someone tell me what does negative sign indicate?
The direction.
Yes, the direction. Electric field is always directed in which direction? In the direction of decreasing
Decreasing potential.
Yes. So in the direction of decreasing potential. So electric field is in this direction means it is understood this is positive, this is negative. Right? Similarly, if E is the intensity of the electric field, then the energy stored in the electric field per unit volume, which is also called as energy density, is given by the formula 1 by 2 times epsilon naught E square. Correct? So there is also there. Next. Electric potential due to a hollow spherical conductor is given by this formula. V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by capital R. This is for any point outside the surface at a distance R from the center. For any point on the surface, it is Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught small r, where small r is the radius. And any point inside is also same as that of the surface. So this is an important point to be noted. So with respect to a spherical shell, V inside is equal to V surface is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught. Actually, you can remember it like this. Since we use capital R for the radius, you can remember capital R, forget about this. And the potential difference outside is given by the formula Q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught small r. This is for what kind of an object? It is for a spherical shell. Okay. Next. So when you talk about a dipole, so with respect to a dipole, what are the 2 points where we try to calculate the field? One is axial point and the second is the equatorial point. On the axial point, what is the electric field due to a dipole? It is given by the formula P divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Whereas when you talk about the equatorial point, its potential is 0. Okay. But remember, its intensity is not 0. How is the intensity given as? Kp divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. I hope you remember this. Sorry. Kp divided by r cube, where k is the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Next. So what is the amount of work done in rotating a dipole? So what is the work done or the potential energy of a dipole? It is given by the formula minus Pe cos theta. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? So minus PE cos theta. So these formulae we have already seen. The remaining things I'll explain while we do the problems. So everything comes from the concept of work, energy, and power, because wherever you see potential or potential difference, irrespective of whatever is the prefix, it can be electrostatic, it can be magnetic, it can be nuclear, it can be gravitational. Any potential or potential energy is always work done. Okay. So even if you forget the formula, the only thing that you need to remember is work done. So let's try out the first problem. So in a free space, a particle A of charge 1 microcoulomb is held fixed at a point. Another particle B of the same charge and mass 4 microgram is kept at distance 1 millimeter from B. If B is released, then its velocity at a distance of 9 millimeter from P is how much? Okay. So first we have to analyze it using a diagram. So how many points are there? There is a point A where there is a 1 microcoulomb charge which is fixed. Correct? At point B. Particle A is held fixed at a point P. Okay. So the name of the particle is A. This is B. Okay. There is another particle B of the same charge and mass 4 microgram, and this one is 1 microcoulomb, is kept at a distance 1 millimeter from P. This is particle A, this is particle B. If B is released, then its velocity at a distance of 9 millimeter from P. 9 millimeter means the distance is increasing. So let's say this distance is 9 millimeter. Okay. So let's say this point is X. Here they're asking the speed is equal to how much? Now tell me, what is the logic? Why does its speed increase? What exactly is happening?
Repulsion.
Okay, repulsion is happening. So due to this repulsion, we know that it is going to experience a force. Whenever I say force is experienced, it is going to accelerate. Okay. Now the question is, you need to be very careful. If they are going to accelerate, then why is this point not moving? Because they have clearly mentioned in the question it is held fixed. Means there is some external force which is holding it, but B is free to move. Correct? So when it has started experiencing it, it starts moving. Now comes an important question. What energy transformations are taking place?
Potential energy to kinetic energy.
So I can either apply the energy conservation theorem, because here they are conservative forces, or I can apply work energy theorem. So what does work energy theorem state? Work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Right? So what is the formula for work done in the case of electrostatic potential? Q into V2 minus V1 is equal to the change in kinetic energy. So Q is how much? This 1 microcoulomb is the one which is experiencing the force. 1 microcoulomb into, what is V2? KQ. So what is the potential energy between two charges, guys? Sorry, what is the potential due to a point charge at a particular place?
KQ by R.
Yes. So one more thing. Instead of that, can I write it as, are you guys able to understand what I'm doing? U2 minus U1 is equal to delta K. That is more easier for me. So U2, that is the final distance of separation. K Q1 Q2 divided by R dash minus k q1 q2 divided by r is equal to delta ke. Correct, Ada? That's what I'm able to think. Now will you be able to calculate it? Can you guys do it fast and let me know? So everything should be converted to SI unit. So this is equal to half mv square. Now you are able to understand why mass is given. So in whichever problem mass is given and velocity is asked, it will mostly be either in terms of momentum or kinetic energy. Right? Do it fast and tell me.
Where is it option D?
Option D. That is how much? Nah, right. Okay. 2 into 10 power 3 meter per second. That's right. Okay. Next. Try this. So there is a system of 3 charges that are placed as shown in the figure. D is very much greater than capital D. The potential energy of the system is best given by Abdinala approximation. If the question is given by na, it is accurate answer. Best given by na approximation. Will you guys try? So what is the formula for potential energy between two charges? K Q1 Q2 divided by the distance of separation between them. So try it out. So 1, 2, and 3. And remember, the thumb rule is whenever you are applying the formula for potential energy, you need to take the sign of the charge into consideration. So what is the total potential energy? It is U12 plus U13 plus U23 minus KQ square by D plus KQ into capital Q divided by D plus D by 2 plus so find it out. So the first one you have to leave it as
Sir,
it is.
ஒரே நிமிஷம் அந்த டயக்ராம்
Okay, Vada?
எஸ்.
So these two parts alone have to be solved. So what is the answer? It's simple. When you subtract
Option C.
these two, option C, check it properly.
சார் கொஞ்சம் மேலே போங்க.
So what is the answer? It is not C, ma. See, you would have. I understand what mistake you would have. You took the LCM, right? You took it as 2d square and all those things. Then 4 will go to the numerator. No, then here you will have 4. This 4 and 4 should get cancelled. This is the answer. Because see, wait, let me do it. I hope you have made a note of these things. So minus kq square divided by d kq into capital Q divided by d plus d by 2 plus k into minus q into capital Q divided by d minus d by 2. Correct? So minus kq square by d plus kq into capital Q, if I take it outside, d minus d by 2 minus d plus d by 2. Sorry, minus d by 2 divided by d square minus d square by 4. So d square minus d square by 4 will be how much? According to the approximation, when d is very much greater than d square minus d square by 4 is approximated to d square, right? So minus kq square by d minus kq into capital Q into d divided by d square. So minus kq square divided minus q square by 4 pi epsilon naught. If I take it out, it will be 1 by d minus qd divided by d square. Is there an option like this?
Yes, sir. I didn't do the proper
Minus q
approximation.
square by 4. That's a mistake. Minus q square, this should be 1. Okay, let's go to the next problem. I think they are comparatively easy, right? Next, see, if you do this problem, you guys have understood integration. There is a positive point charge that is released from rest. Okay, positive point charge which is released from rest at a distance r0 from a positive line charge with uniform density, abina lambda. The speed v of the particle as a function of instantaneous distance r from the line charge is proportional to what? It's a good problem. So before we start solving, tell me what are all the logics that are possible. If you try to understand the physics behind it, you will get the answer.
Sir, here also the particle, which is a potential energy, is converted into kinetic energy.
Okay. So you can do that, but how are you going to calculate the potential energy in this problem? There it was easy because there were point charges. We have a formula, correct? That is kq1 q2 by r. So it was easy. But here you don't have a formula between an extended and a point charge. So how are you planning to calculate it?
So we can find dq from integration.
Okay, you want to find dq and then do it. Okay, I'll go according to the way you want. So for dq, where should I consider the small charge? You want me to
At a
consider
distance. Okay.
at a distance x from here. Let's say its thickness is dx and the charge will be dq, correct? That's what you wanted to do. So dq is equal to, or else I can write like this. Lambda is equal to dq by dx, correct? So dq will be equal to lambda into dx. Now comes another important question. If I take this distance as r, and this charge is q, they didn't say anything about this charge, so everything has to get eliminated. That's what I understand. So I'll do one thing. I'll take this as d capital Q. Is this what you want me to do?
So, but then we don't know the value of lambda, so we cannot do this, right?
I think maybe according to the way we might have to eliminate it. I don't know. Okay. So you know dq lambda dx. So here you have a point charge. Here you have a point charge. So there are 2 point charges. I'm marking them with black. 1 point charge, another point charge. You know the distance between them. So is it possible for us to define the potential energy? So what is going to be the potential energy? K dq into q. So there's going to be small amount of potential energy. K dq into q divided by r. Okay. Now how many variables are there?
Three.
3. It will become. Is it not difficult for us to solve?
சார் ஆன்சர் வந்து டியா சார், நான் வேற மெத்தட்ல சும்மா பண்ணி பார்த்தேன்.
Yeah, answer D, correct. So how did you do?
சார் W equal to இந்த EDR னு போடுறேன், integral of EDR. So then lambda by 2 epsilon naught.
W is equal to
integral of EDR.
It is not integral of EDR. It is integral of FDR. நீ சொல்றது potential is integral of EDR.
Okay, sorry.
But that's right. See, இதுல ஏன் தப்பிச்சனா, they asked about proportionality. If they ask the exact answer, you will get stuck.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, you want me to do it like this. See, you can actually solve the problem using this idea also. It is not bad. It is good. Because if I am able to calculate the potential energy, I'll equate that potential energy to half mv square. I'll get the answer still. But what I need to do is I need to start involving trigonometry into. I need to take trigonometry into consideration, which is going to be a little bit of headache for me. So what we can do instead is, why don't we go with the basics of what we already know with respect to a linear charge. So since, as he told, you know the electric field, right? What is the electric field due to a linear charge at a distance r from it? So r naught is okay. So r naught is the initial distance. As the charge keeps moving, let's say this distance is r. That's what they're mentioning, no? I hope you understood the question. So E is equal to how much? Lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into, let me introduce a variable, okay? Let me call the variable as x. Okay. 2 pi epsilon naught into x. Does this make sense, guys? Where, according to this problem, what should I take the limit of x as? Varun. Guys,
Yes.
are you able to understand? Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? So if I take the distance as x, if I'm able to calculate the small amount of work that is done for dx, like how we do the derivation of potential difference, right? If I'm able to calculate that, then that I will equate it to kinetic energy, because work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Correct? So here x is the variable. Now, if I want to calculate the small amount of work that is done to move in a distance dx, can I write it as lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into x multiplied with dx? Guys, does this make sense? So if I calculate the total work done, that will be lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught x, 2 pi epsilon naught into dx divided by x, integral of where to where. So what is the initial distance? This charge q, oh sorry. dw is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught x into dx multiplied with the charge that is experiencing the force q. Puridada? Are you, is
Yes,
everyone
sir.
clear? Right? So what is the initial? That's the thing. I understood what you did, but it's fine. So x to the initial distance. So what is the initial value of x where this force starts acting? It is r naught, and as it keeps increasing at some random distance r, this is going to be the expression. So lambda q divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into ln of r divided by r naught, correct, is equal to the change in kinetic energy half mv square, which implies v square is equal to 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Lambda into q divided by pi epsilon naught m into ln of r divided by r naught. Harini, you asked, no, they didn't give lambda. Still, our work is not to find the value of lambda because all are taken as proportional constant. So v is directly proportional to whom? Ln of r divided by r naught under a root, which is power half. I think it was 2018. In CBSE also similar kind of problem came, which most of them could not do. I think they gave marks, but that's a different story. I think in CBSE also something similar came. 2018 or 17, I won't know. Okay. But if it comes in CBSE also, you can handle it, right? Now. Next. Can you guys try the next one? So the electric field in a region is given by E is equal to AX plus BI cap, where E is in Newton per Coulomb and X is in meter. The value of constants A is equal to 20 SI unit in terms of SI unit, and B is also 10 in SI unit. If the potential at X is equal to 1 is V1 and the potential at X is equal to minus 5 is V2, then V1 minus V2 is equal to how much? It's simple. You guys can do it. So what is the formula? E is equal to, don't forget the minus sign, minus dV by dr. Okay. So you can have a doubt when to use that minus sign and when not to use minus sign. So when you have E is equal to minus dV by dr, whenever you are integrating, use the negative sign. Whenever you are solving the problem mathematically, treat it like a formula. Whenever you are solving the problem using physics, now the logic is, if you already have the direction of electric field, then you need not use that minus sign, like how we do in the case of capacitors. If you revisit it, we would have not used minus there, because we already know the direction. So the negative sign indicates only the direction. Purida, I'm repeating it. Mathematically, use a minus sign. If you go with the physics, don't use the negative sign. Fast.
Sir, is the answer C?
180, yeah?
Hmm.
Correct. 180 is right. So since the problem is based on basic integration, I'm leaving it to you. If you still have a doubt, then you can reach out to me. Okay. Shall we go to the next one? Next. So there are three charges plus Q, plus Q and plus Q, which are placed at the vertices of the right angled isosceles triangle as shown. The net electrostatic energy of the configuration is 0 if the value of Q is how much? So the configuration can have a 0 potential energy only if one of the charges is negative. So if I have to go by the assumption, then I can eliminate C. If suppose it is a different competitive exam, if all the options are positive except one, you can blindly take that option. But here they will not give you like that. So what are we supposed to do? The 1, 2, 3. So how many expressions? Total potential energy is equal to sum of the potential energy between the two charge systems, right? So U12 plus U23 plus U31. Calculate it, equate it to 0, you will get the value of Q. Do it fast. So since they told it's a right angled isosceles triangle, this is A, this is A, this will be root 2 times A. So Q square by A plus Q into capital Q by
The
A.
answer B is
Answer B.
B.
I have to check that.
Sir, நீங்களே போட்டுருங்க
Minus
சார்.
D.
D.
Other sense.
ஆமா ஆமா நான் எடுக்கலாம், எல்சிஎம் சரியா எடுக்கலாம்.
Take it. So D is the answer. So I hope everybody can solve this equation. I'm leaving it to you. Okay. Next one. So comparatively, I feel this is easy, right? Let's see. So 4 equal point charges Q each are placed in the xy plane at 0, 2, 4, 2, 4, minus 2, and 0, minus 2. The work required to put the fifth charge Q at the origin of the coordinate system is given by. Okay. See, there are two ways to do this. You first, wait, I'll tell you how to do. This is also actually a CBSE problem. It will be there in your textbook, but slightly easy. So what we can actually do is, if you draw the coordinate system, this is the fifth charge Q which is placed at the origin. There are 4 other charges which are placed at 0, 2. 0, 2 is y-axis. 4, 2 is somewhere over here. 4, minus 2. 4, minus 2 is here. And 0, minus 2 is here. So this side is 4, 4, 4. Actually, this forms a square. So they're asking what is the potential. So work required to put the fifth charge means they're actually asking you to calculate the potential energy of the system by taking this into consideration. So what we can do is, there are 4 charges, right? Q. One way to solve this, if I take this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, So you need to calculate potential energy between 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5 and add them. That will give you the answer. Or calculate the potential at origin due to all the charges. Okay. Once you calculate the potential at origin due to all the charges, multiply the result with Q, that will give you the answer. So V naught, can you guys tell me how much is it going to be? KQ divided by, in the distance it is 2. So like that, how many 2's are there? 2 plus KQ divided by, what is this distance, guys? Either 4, either 2. So how much is this? Root of 20. That is 2 root 5. So KQ divided by 2 root 5 into 2. Did you guys understand how I wrote that expression? KQ into root 5 plus 1 by root 5 is the value of V naught. So work done will be equal to Q into V naught. So KQ square into root 5 plus 1 divided by root 5 is the answer. Is there an option like this? Or 1 plus KQ square into 1 plus 1 by root 5 would option. That is 4. Is there anyone having a doubt in this? So the formula that I use is KQ by R. That's it. So this problem, remind me, okay, I'll explain it tomorrow. How to calculate the potential due to the spherical shell. I'll explain this tomorrow, okay? Okay, let's do one last problem and wind up the session. So assume that an electric field E is equal to 30x square I cap exists in space. Then the potential difference VA minus VO, where VO is the potential at the origin, VA is the potential at X is equal to 2 meters is how much? Do it fast. Anybody with the answer? Is it that tough? So integral of 30x square from where to where? VA to VO. So VA minus VO is how much? Minus of VA எவ்வளோ? 2 and this is 0. X cube by 3 minus 80 is the answer. Here, if you observe, I would have done something different. What is it? The limits. Okay, I did initial to final. Sorry, final to initial because of the negative sign that we have. Means what you will actually be doing is VA is equal to minus integral of dr. Correct? You will calculate that separately. VO is equal to minus integral of dr. Subtract both. Then you will get the proper limits. So answer is minus 80. The logic also, see, if suppose you get the positive value, no? If suppose you're ignoring the minus sign. I told you one logic, right? When you're doing it mathematically, take the minus sign. So integration is only mathematics. But what I meant by physics is, if suppose you're doing it mathematically without the negative sign, you would have got the answer as 80 joule. But if you take 80 joule, it is wrong because, can someone tell me why 80 joule is wrong? Can you use the physics knowledge and tell me? One minute, the charge in my pencil is over. Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are
Sir,
you able to understand my question? Yeah.
Because the electric field is in the positive x direction.
Yes. I don't know, my pencil is not working, I'm sorry. Since the electric field is in the positive x direction, so with respect to origin and point A, where will the potential be less?
Point A.
Point A. So VA minus VO should obviously be negative, correct? So that time you need to take the minus sign into consideration. So be careful, okay? I think my device got stuck. So that's all from my side, guys, for today. Okay, let's do some good problems tomorrow and we'll start capacitors. If possible, no, at least take 20 minutes time to revise before my class so that you can recollect the formula, since it is all from your 12th standard only. Okay. So shall we wind up? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, guys.